Welcome to the Mother-Daughter-ish podcast. It's your mama's favorite podcast.
And the podcast your daughter always wanted.
This is Miss Dawn.
And Aungelique.
From the 713. Houston, y'all. Get connected and stay connected weekly as new shows debut on Sunday, Wednesday, and please check out our Saturday Out and About showcases.
Enjoy the show. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and tell every woman on the planet that you know about our show.
Here's our show for today.
Everything's better. Mother and daughter, oh, they're the greatest duo. Mother and daughter, oh, they're the greatest duo.
Hey, it's Miss Dawn. You wondering how you can support our show, Mother-Daughter-ish? We have Cash App, we have PayPal, and we do have Vimeo. Support our show so that we can reach out to more women. Our goal is to reach and build a community of 1 million women. Why don't you come on and help us do that?
Hey, mothers and daughters. Today we're going to talk a little bit about plant-based. And the reason I wanted to talk about plant-based meal options is because I am learning that it is just a good option. That's my opinion. That's why I have my disclaimer at the beginning, because I just want to do the education part. So I'm going to start off with who plant-based is really going to be good for. Plant-based is going to be good for anybody who wants to change their diet to a more electric diet, to a more live food diet, to a more healthy diet, to a diet that will support maybe their immune system better. But then also I think about plant-based being good for anyone who may have any current ailments. And when I say current ailments, I mean like you have inflammation or you have other things going on, because plant-based does help with warding off inflammation. If you've ever read Dr. Sebi's book, any of them, he's got quite a few, but I have a few of his books, and if you've ever read any of his messages, he talks a lot about inflammation. And inflammation can come from all kind of places, like eating chicken and eating certain things that have fatty things on them, and it gets into your joints, and that's why sometimes maybe you have pain and don't realize it in your wrists, in your knee, in your shoulders, in your neck, in your body. And there are ways you can get rid of it by drinking lime water with lime in it, and other ways that you can do to detox your body. But that's for anybody who's interested in that. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is where. And when I say where, I'm going to talk about, like, I looked up plant-based restaurants in the United States, and the list I got said, here are the top 33. And I'm not going to lie, I really thought it was going to say, here are like 300 in the United States of America. Because remember, we got 50 states. So, I'm thinking, okay. Okay. And so, I start thinking about plant-based. I'm like, okay, when I change everything, I said, okay, I'm going to do 90% plant-based. And then the rest, I'll incorporate some other things that, there are some things I'm getting rid of completely that I have for the last few years. And then there are some things that maybe I'll circle back around to and continue to try. But one of the rules that I had for myself, now this is just me, is that I no longer enjoy eating anything that had a mother. So anything that was reproduced like that, I do not enjoy eating it anymore. So you can take that however you want, but that's kind of like my little rule. But when I saw that there were only 33 restaurants that were top all natural plant-based restaurants, I was a little, at the least to say, I was a little bit annoyed. And I think the only reason I was annoyed is because I was looking for something more. I was looking for a better list. But I'm just going to go through some of them just in case you're in these areas. So, Allyum in Seattle, Washington. That's Allyum. Aunt E Uncles, and it's Aunts, and then E-T, and then Uncles. That's in Brooklyn, New York. Hey, Brooklyn. Bella Green in Houston, Texas. That's Bellagreen. I took a screenshot of that because I'll be going by there. Blossoming Lotus in Portland, Oregon. It's another one that was on the list. Bulan Thai, which is in Los Angeles, California. That's Bulan Thai. Buna Cafe in Brooklyn, New York. Hey, Brooklyn again. Cadence, Cadence in New York. The Coronata in Phoenix, Arizona. Come on, Houston, be on the list again. I'm just going through this list, y'all, for you. Double Zero in Venice, California. I love going to Venice Beach, so I was happy to kind of see that one on the list. Then you have a Fancy Radish, which is in Washington, D.C. These are lists that I'm going to take with me when I travel so that I can start to like formulate a list. Kind of like I know where all the Sprouts grocery stores are when I travel. I need a list of restaurants as well, just in case I get into a situation where I want to go eat something. Gracias Madre, which is in San Francisco. Green New American, Phoenix, Arizona. I'm not surprised about the ones in Phoenix because Phoenix is pretty awesome. Greens, that's in San Francisco, California. Not surprised about California either because they're pretty focused on a lot of health. As you can just kind of, if you've ever been there, you'll understand what I'm saying. In Chicago, Illinois, you have Ground Control. That's the name of the restaurant, Ground Control. You have J. Shelby's in St. Paul's, Minnesota. Hey, Minnesota. You have Kindred, which is in San Diego, California. Then you have Leaf, that's in Boulder, Colorado. Boulder, Colorado. And then you have Miss Rachel's Pantry, which is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I wish I'd have known that when I was just there in Hershey, Pennsylvania. I could have went. Modern Love, which is in Omaha, Nebraska. Mora Pizza, which is in Miami, Florida. Ooh, next time I go to Miami, I have to go there. New Vegan Cafe, that's in U. And then Vegan Cafe in Richmond, Virginia. Hey, again, Pat Greer's Kitchen in Houston, Texas. I took a screenshot of that. Plant. That's just the name of it. Plant in Asheville, North Carolina. I was just there in July. See? I was just there in July. I got excited because I'm like, dang it. I should have known. Planta Queen. Planta Queen. That's they said that they're nationwide, so I guess they're everywhere. Pow Pow in Washington, D.C. Red Lentil in Watertown, Massachusetts. Siva in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Slutty, let me tell y'all something. I see Slutty Vegan has been like kind of on a concert tour with their food. And I went on their post and saw that they were all in New York and they went all in Dallas. I say, so just forget Houston, huh? I cannot wait until Slutty Vegan, they're originated in Atlanta, Georgia, by the way. But I cannot wait until Slutty Vegan finds their way to slut over here in Houston, Texas. And I'm talking about food, y'all, so don't go there. So the Slutty Vegan, oh, I can't wait to find it. I can't wait till they come here. Sugar Taco, which is in Los Angeles. I love that they have a taco vegan restaurant. I just love that because last week, every day I ate vegan tacos with a different spin on it every single day. Trilogy Sanctuary in La Jolla, California. I wish I'd have known that when I was there in 2018. Maybe they weren't open. I don't know. Veg, V-E-D-G-E in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Again, I should have known that in July. The Whale. Ooh, I'm going to take a screenshot of that. The Whale in Austin, Texas. That's one. And then the Wild Cow in Nashville, Tennessee. I like the name of that. And so those are just the only ones. And by the way, in case you're wondering where I got this list from, I got it from Thrillist. I'm going to mention it down in the description box. But, you know, I was a little annoyed, just a little bit, that there weren't like 150 to 200 restaurants on there, seeing as that the United States is so vast and, you know, thinking about, you know, where we can get, you know, the proper food from. This is why whenever I travel, I make it a point to go to the grocery store or, like I say, to find my Sprouts and get over there and get the things that I want from the store so that if I'm not able to physically cook any food, at least I can have some vegetables, I can have some fruit and some different things in my room without feeling like I'm going to be so hungry or whatever. So, you know, if I were you, I would make that suggestion list as well. One of the things that I decided that I was going to start eating better and just adding better foods to my body is because everything, it seems like to me, the sodium is too high. Everything to me seems like sugar has been added to it. Everything to me just seems like it's too sweet. Like if I'm eating something and I can really taste the sugar in it, my spidey senses immediately go up and say something is wrong. Okay? So I started looking into sugar, because I did a show a few months ago, if you saw it, on looking into sugar. And I'll tell you right now, I found some interesting things and some interesting words that I didn't know about. So here is my why as to the reason I looked into this. Is because sugar alcohols was something that popped up. And so an example of sugar alcohol is, for example, you can read about it in Dr. Sebi's book as well. But sugar alcohol helps to reduce inflammation, helps to reduce the risk of diabetes and heart disease, helps to improve the gut health, and it also supports your immune system. So can you think about it? Let's say you go to Chick-fil-A and you get some food and you say, oh, the sodium is just so high. Because that's what happened to me the last time I had Chick-fil-A, is that the sodium was just so high. It was like, I can't. And then let's just say you go to get a bag of chips. The other day I had a bag of Doritos and the sugar on it was just ridiculous. And I told my daughter right then, I said, they changed the formula. And she thought I was crazy. Of course, she was like, yeah, okay. But I felt like they actually changed the formula to a lot of things. Like I used to love to eat grits, and now I can't eat them anymore. Every time I eat them, I throw up. And then it just so happened I happen to be having the same conversation with my mom, and she was saying the same thing happens to her. And then she had a conversation with her sister, and she said the same thing happened to her. I say, oh, we're three different people, even though we're in the same family. But guess what? They must have changed the formula. So again, like I was telling you, read the instructions on everything that you are purchasing. And if you see things that say no sugar, but then you see all of this dextrol and maltodextrol and all of this troll and all of those are hidden sugars that you just don't know about. And yes, there is a such thing as hidden sugars. And also think about it. Processed foods. You need to really start looking into processed foods and looking at what processed foods even are, because every restaurant you go to, unless it's a handmade, homemade, vegan restaurant, it's all handmade. I mean, it's all processed food. So Dr. Sebi's book is all about inflammation and how to keep that from being in your body. And I'm going to make sure that I put the title of the book and everything in the description box so you'll be able to see that. But you know, when I was thinking about this too, I was saying, you know, well, a lot of people may not know when they go to the store. I'm one of those people that I'm not going to the store without a list. A couple of reasons why. And I just learned this from raising my kids. If you go to a grocery store without a list, you're gonna end up just buying everything, just everything, that you don't need. You're gonna get hungry. I can't even tell you how many times I'm driving around and I'll see something like, oh, I want to taste that. Oh, I want that. Oh, I should stop and get that. Oh, I could get. And then I just keep my head straight. So I kind of drive with tunnel vision now, because it's like I don't even want the distraction, because that's exactly what it is a huge, big old fat distraction. But here's what I want to leave you with. When you go to the store, make sure you have a list with you. I'm going to give you a couple of things that you might want to always have on your list, so that if you decide to go plant-based, at least you will know what food you can get. Now, I saw something on the list and I thought, oh, okay, most people may not know this, but chickpeas, like for example, they have chickpeas you can buy at Sprouts. And I'm just naming them because that's my favorite store that I go to. But you can buy like chickpeas at Sprouts, and you can make hummus with it, homemade hummus and all kinds of things. You can buy your own peanuts at the store and make your own peanut butter, or you could just buy peanut butter that does not have sugar and does not have salt in it. It's really up to you to control how you want to have your food. I know I was talking to somebody, because they were saying when you're on a plant-based lifestyle that you have to still get a whole lot of protein. So keep that in mind, that if you decide to try plant-based, just remember that you still have to have a lot of protein in your diet. So on your grocery list, and also you can always go to Google, type in plant-based grocery list. There's about 40 lists that I went through. A lot of them were the same, but the ones that didn't have some stuff that the other ones had, I just compiled and had one list. But it's not the whole list, because it's only the things that I like. There are some things that I don't want to eat, and so it's not going to be on my list. But there are also some things I added that I want to try. Like I want to try the grilled baked eggplant with all the garlic and all of that stuff on it. I want to try that. So there are certain things I probably want to try that you're maybe not wanting to try, or vice versa. So on your list, you make sure that you put a list of vegetables together that you really like, that you can spruce up and season really well with good seasoning. All seasoning is not the same. Fruit, make sure that you have the fruit on there if you are allowed to have that in your diet. The fruits that are going to be good for you, the ones that you like, and the ones that your body can handle. Nuts, make sure you have nuts and seeds on there. Make sure you have all the proper oils on there, like your extra virgin olive oils or sunflower, whatever oils you feel like are going to work for you. You can also look up a list of nuts, a list of seeds, a list of oils, because that's what I did. I looked up every single category for vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, and oils, whole grains, and legumes, and figured out which things on the list are things that I like. That's how under legumes I found that chickpeas would be good for me. But looking up whole grains, when I looked up whole grains and it said oatmeal, I made myself a little note that I only want to eat steel cut oatmeal. One thing I'll tell you that Jamba Juice spoiled me with before COVID was that they used to sell oatmeal. They no longer after COVID now sell oatmeal. But also beans. Look into the different kind of beans that you like. I like black beans, red beans, and pinto beans. And those are pretty much the only beans that you can get me to pretty much eat. But you know, if you're thinking about having a plant-based lifestyle, just do your own research. Look up and see what will work for you. If you don't want to commit to it right now, try it. It's kind of how I got off of eating meat. I tried it for 3 months. I tried it for 6 months. I tried it for a year. A year turned into 3, and it just went from there. No, it wasn't easy. No, it wasn't a breeze. No, it wasn't fun. None of that. I'm not even going to lie to you. But over time, you have to just replace things. Like people always talk about meal replacements. You have to, over time, replace things. And make sure you get plenty of good, clean water. All waters are not the same. Make sure you get... I even drank some water that I purchased at the dollar store, and I could taste the sugar in the water. I was done at that point. I said, I'm done. But that's my show today on plant-based meals. I hope that this has inspired you to maybe look into it, to maybe consider it. Check out Dr. Sebi's books, and there's also a book online that I saw that I put in my cart called 72 Reasons to Go Vegan, so you might want to try that book as well. I'll put that one in the description box as well. That's the show on plant-based lifestyle. If it's something that's interesting to you, I hope you enjoyed the show. Bye.
Hey, it's Miss Dawn. You wondering how you can support our show, Mother-Daughter-ish? We have Cash App, we have PayPal, and we do have Vimeo. Support our show so that we can reach out to more women. Our goal is to reach and build a community of 1 million women. Why don't you come on and help us do that?